You can always make a way out of no way. The path may not always be straight. It may take you around. It may be like 285 in Atlanta, 475 here. You may not get to go a straight path to where you want to be. You may have to go around the long way, but you can find a way. You may have to go over that wall, under it, or through it, but it is possible. My name is Dante Zanders. I'm from McRae, Georgia, and I completed my entire education within the Fairfax County school system. I did my undergrad at Georgia Tech, where I majored in history, technology, and society, and I was on the pre-med track. Then I ended up going to Texas A&M in College Station, Texas, where I got a master's degree in biomedical sciences. And now I'm here at Mercer University School of Medicine. What inspires me and keeps me working every day is just the idea that, hey, I'm in this position that others like me, other students, other children who see me, they have the belief that they can do what I'm doing. Because I know it's really hard when somebody tells you you're gonna be a doctor or a lawyer, but you don't know a doctor that looks like you. You don't know a lawyer that looks like you. It's kind of hard. Seeing is believing. It's kind of hard to picture yourself in those shoes of someone you can't see. And that's for me to be here, just take advantage of this opportunity I've been given to shine light on those coming after me, to show like, hey, you can do this. Dante made it from Little McRae, Georgia high school, graduated with 94 students. You can be there. A lot of times you may have to do it alone, but you can get there. It is possible. Dare to dream the impossible. That's what I would tell them. I would tell my younger self, don't change a single thing. Because my journey was unique to me. It was special to me. Even though the bumps and the roads that I encountered, the failures that I encountered, and you will encounter failures. And as somebody once told me, hey, if you're not failing, you're not trying. That's one of the most beautiful things for me, is that I had to learn, hey, the younger you had to dive into discomfort head first, because a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. And out of discomfort is where you find the most growth. And I had to realize that definitely just don't change a single thing. The bumps and roads, the failures you caused, they made you who you are today. You wouldn't be here without them. I think I knew I wanted to be a doctor when I was in grad school, and a professor sat me down and we were talking about this systemic physiology course, which was really difficult. And he told me that, hey, you did really well in this. I know you're kind of trying to figure out if you want to go to medical school or if you want to go to military, honestly, because those were my two options at the time I was thinking about. And so when he told me that, it kind of sunk in with me like, hey, you actually enjoy this material that you're learning, and you actually can do the material. And that's one of my biggest reasons for going to grad school, to actually see, one, do you even like the material that you would see in medical school? And two, can you handle, graduate level coursework in these intense sciences? And also, I had an experience with my dad when I was back home. I was shadowing a cardiologist, and my dad came in one day and he was telling about how he felt chest tightness when he would walk our dog. And I told him, hey, you might want to get this looked out because it sounds like you might have, a possible blockage, exercise-induced chest tightness. And lo and behold, he actually goes and sees the same cardiologist I'm shadowing. He had a nearly completely blocked artery. He ended up having a stent put in. So it's just those two things, like, hey, you were shadowing somebody, you learned this, and you applied it to a real life situation, and you saved your dad's life. And then it's been reinforced by this, academic professor saying, hey, I think you can do this. And sometimes we need that little encouragement. Somebody say, I think you'll be good at this. You can do this. Well, I'm definitely coming back here to Georgia. I'm a Nathan Dill scholar, so I have that 4-year obligation, to pay back for this tuition. But I think I want to stay in Georgia. I'm a Southern boy, born and raised, McRae, Georgia, 3-stoplight town. And, it matches with what Mercer is doing with its students. It's training us to go back to these rural and underserved communities. My hometown doesn't have a hospital, and so that's one of the big things for me. Is like, hey, I can actually go back and make that difference. I can provide the medical care that's truly needed, that's truly missed there now. I think the idea of just knowing the community, knowing the people, being, it's kind of, when you're from there, people kind of relate to you more and they trust you more. It's one of those, like, hey, they're more open to receiving the services that I have to offer. And it's kind of difficult when you're an outsider coming in to trying to gain that trust, but when you've been there, when everybody knows your parents, everybody knows your grandparents, everybody knows your great-grandparents, your great-grandmother taught the superintendent of the school system now. So it's one of those, like, hey, I can bring this familiarity. Now I can add the knowledge of being a medical professional with that and provide these services to them in a much-needed community. Diversity in medicine is important because look at our population. Our population is so diverse. It's a melting pot of cultures. It's a melting pot of ethnicities. And that's why, because you don't always want to go to the doctor and see someone that looks different from you. You want to be able to sit down and talk to someone that, hey, I grew up like you, I look like you, I know we share the same experiences, and it makes it easier for patients and doctors to have a relationship because they can get to know each other better because, hey, I can talk to you in how you need to be talked to because I've been there, I understand. So I think that's why diversity in medicine is important because it helps you better understand the patients that come through your door.